Welcome to my home away from home. Come inside, I'll give you a look around. So this is a 2011 Fiat Ducato, same van as a Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer and a Ram, I believe, in the States. ProMaster. It's 2.3 litre engine, Iveco engine. Picked that engine because from my experience in the motor trade, it's a bit more reliable than the 2.2 in the Peugeot and Citroen. This particular model has done quite a lot of miles, 143,000 I believe. It's next ambulance, so had all the service history, it was well maintained. When I say ambulance, it was patient transport. If you had a hospital appointment, it would come pick you up, take you to hospital, and when you're done, drop you back at home. So yeah, hard life in the sense of it's probably pretty much non-stop moving, but tends to be round town, I believe. So you know, not a great deal of pressure. Yeah, converted it a couple of years ago, just before lockdown. We were going to go away on holiday. First trip was going to be around Germany and the Netherlands and a bit of France, and that didn't happen due to lockdown. Ironic ambulance. So yeah, it's been mostly around the UK. We have just gone abroad, just come back from a shortened version of that trip. We were based in Belgium. Didn't touch Netherlands, but we did go into Germany a few times, and spent a day in France. So yeah, we've had a few trips away, and we have finally used it abroad, and it's been brilliant. I do love this van. Those of you who have watched the other couple of videos on my channel will probably be aware that we are going to be building a new van. Since building this van, we have acquired a pet human, and yeah, it's if I'd known that at the start, I would have designed the van differently, and financially it makes more sense to sell this van as it is and buy a new one and build it slightly different. So this van does need a bit more work, and I'll go through those points as I show you a tour of the van, but this is its current very much usable state. So up front, we've got switch gears, we've got lights, switches for the lights. The one for fan is our extractor fan, which we've upgraded with a rain sensor and a vent. We've got spotlights on the side of the van, which the ambulance would have used for finding house numbers in the dark. A reverse beeper that I tend to only really use if I'm backing into the workshop to annoy everyone. Out on the road campsites and whatnot, we never really use that. And beacon's not plugged into anything. CD player's been upgraded with an MP3 unit. We've got air conditioning. That was one of the requirements for this camper van, was to have air conditioning. Down the side here, I've got switches for a giant spotlight on the back, big LED strip light, which is brilliant. Really, really bright. Only works with the parking brake on, so if you're thinking of blinding people when you're driving, you can't. Then we've got emergency start. There's a gel battery underneath my driver's seat, so if the battery runs flat, which this has done a few times, being left for long periods between use, you just hold that button down and it starts like that. Absolutely brilliant. And then there's an isolator switch for the main battery. Parrot Bluetooth I never really use. Yeah, I've got put USB chargers up front here. That is pretty much it from the front. This big unit here, it was probably for walkie-talkies or something for the ambulance. I haven't done anything with that yet. Same with this hole here next to the gear knob. But yeah, that's pretty much the front. Let's go into the back. So back here we have the rear seating. This is actually a twin seat. I've only got one seat belt hooked up at the moment, which is a proper seat. This frame was I bought from a guy on Facebook, one of the on the campervan building pages. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, it didn't come with these cushions, obviously, but yeah, metal frame. The base slides out, and it does actually slide out further. The seat's designed to be mounted slightly further back. It basically makes an extra single bed. Now I haven't modified the base, but I have built this. Like I said before, we've got a 1-year-old, and we built this to be a seat for her while we're driving, but also then turn it into a cot, which I'll show you in a moment. And the front of here, because I couldn't find anywhere else for it, is our fridge. And if I get off the chair and unhook it, it's a big 20, I think it's 20 litre fridge, 25 litre. It can go down to about -18. That was actually given to me by Joel and Nick's from Bear Overland. We did some work on their homemade camper. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link up top here. Brilliant bit of kit. They've been around Canada, the States, and I think a bit of South America before COVID hit, and they had to come back. And yeah, so they bought a fridge. It was broken, so contacted the supplier. They got sent a new one, and then Joel just gave me the old one, and it was just a broken wire. Managed to pull it apart, connect the wire again, and it's been brilliant. Highly recommend it, but it is big. You need to make sure you have space for it. We're probably going to relocate it under one of the drawers in the back, which I'll show you later on. And that's it really with the seating area. It is pretty much as it comes. Eagle-eye viewers will notice we don't have a blind on this window. Again, I'll show you that in just a moment. This cushion that I'm sitting on becomes a blind. Yeah, let me now set it up as a cot. And just like that, we have a baby's cot. We normally put the cushions from the back down the side there so she can't get down, but it has worked brilliantly. At night, we put this front section up. It's held up with some Velcro. Got 2 bits of Velcro, one either side. And there's also a strip on here, on this side, that just locks the back of it in place. And works brilliantly. She sleeps really well here. Yeah, we don't have any complaints at all really. Obviously as she grows, we'll need to amend the perspex a little bit. But yeah, this is the cot, if you like. Also doubles up as a playpen. If we're cooking or something, and trying to rearrange things, move things around, we can put her in there with some toys, and she's quite happy sitting there playing. So up above the seating area, we have our Eberspacher diesel heater. We have had this when we was in Belgium. It was quite chilly at night. We had this running all night, and it absolutely brilliant. Worked really well. Just come on and off when it got cold, and warmed the place up. Solar controller. We've got a 120 watt solar panel on the roof. All runs through here. There's a little USB at the bottom there. We tend to charge our phones through. Up here we've got another switch for the extractor fan in the roof, and light switches. I'll leave it on for now. This I've left in. This is a charge point, 12 volt charge point for something to do with the ambulance. No idea, but it's nice to keep some ambulance in there. The leisure batteries are lithium iron phosphate. They are underneath here. I won't show you right now, but they are there. They run everything in the back of the van, including the fridge. Again, we had the fridge on with the diesel heater the entire time we were away, and yeah, it worked brilliantly. What else do I need to show you up here? Air conditioning. Now there's a control here for air conditioning in the back of the van. Only works when the engine's running, and then cool air comes out of these 4 vents here, which in the summer has been really nice, especially with a baby in the back. So moving on to the kitchen. Now I wanted a 3-burner hob because our old van had 2-burner, and I wanted an extra one. I've never used, since we've had this van, never used more than 2 hobs, and you can see which one we use most on this dirtiest. Yeah, we never tend to use all three, even when there was 4 of us camping in 2 vans, which to me, I don't know, it seems a bit strange. I don't think in the next van, I think I'm going to go back to 2. I don't know why I wanted 3, but I did. I remember wanting 3, but I'm going to go back to 2, purely to make more space. We can have a smaller kitchen unit. This kitchen worktop, was, I believe, left over from our old house. We had some worktop left over, so used the offcut for this, and it's again worked brilliantly. Love the color scheme. In here we have our sink, nice, a decent size. Sometimes you get vans with really small sinks, and we've gone for one with plenty of space. And again, with the baby and 2 adults, lots of washing up to do. You can get it all in there, and yeah, it's worked brilliantly. Hot and cold water. Now, if I go into the cupboard here, you'll see my neatly arranged pots and pans and plates, and in the back here is this, I don't know what that says, but it's Chinese or Japanese, probably Chinese. I think it's Chinese. That's our water heater. Runs off of camping gas bottle, which is the same as what our cooker's running off of. That's in a storage container that you access after opening the sliding door. There is a vent for it here, which we were going to run up to the top, out of the ceiling, out there, and we never got around to it. So all we do for now is open the window slightly and put the hose out the window, which I'm going to close for the minute because it's cold. Put that out the window, vents everything, all of the fumes. If I show you in this cupboard, you can see the other part of my neatly arranged plates and saucepans and draining thingy. Lots of spare plastic bottles there that you can see through this cupboard, which we use for drinking water. That bottle there is white vinegar. I'll explain more about that in a moment, as well as my bag of wood shavings. That's pretty much my kitchen area. Up above the kitchen we have, again, something I've saved from the old ambulance, was these overhead storage cupboards, and I've just had to replace the gas struts on them because they'd gone a bit weak, but plenty of storage space. You can see we've got some cups up here, dog bowl, tea bags, very, very important, box of tea bags, washing up liquid sponges, an empty packet of sweets, which I don't know why, and then these 2 cupboards on the back we use for our clothes. One his and hers, which again we could do with more, having a pet human, which will come in the new van. Now over here we have our shower. I'll do that, you can see the shower up there. Shower curtain, shower base, and not quite finished but perfectly usable composting toilet. I did do a video when I was building this, but I've never done a video on the finished article, the usable. Haven't made a lid for that, so let's start. Let's go all in straight from the top. We have a urine diverter in the front and a bin, which I have cleaned this out. It hasn't got anything in it apart from wood shavings, but that bin is for the wood shavings. That's for your number 2s. Now a lot of people are concerned about smell. I promise you, it does not smell. As long as you cover your number 2s with more wood shavings. We normally keep a bag of them in the side here, which I haven't filled up, but it's the wood shavings that were in that cupboard. And when you want to flush your number 1s, now we're using white vinegar with a hint of lemon, but you get a bottle of vinegar, and all you do is that. Now the vinegar with your number 1s, it seems to, I don't know, it stops the smell. It does something, it stops the smell. It neutralises, that's the word. And in this cupboard, you can see that I've got 2 5-litre screen wash jugs. Now your number 1s come down this hose into that jug. We can normally go 2 or 3 days without even getting close to emptying it. Once we empty it, the hose goes into the next bottle, empty that one, and yeah, just put it back. To help with any smell while the number 1s are between doing your number 1 and covering up, we've got a fan that's really crudely wired in there, and a switch on the front. It's on a timer with a timed relay underneath here. It goes for about 10 minutes, and then it stops, by which point, yeah, all the smell has been taken out the side of the van. And then when you want to flush again, you can just go off and on again. I'll leave it off for the moment. But yeah, after 10 seconds, that fan goes off. Shower is pretty self-explanatory, hot and cold. We did put a stick-on thing over the window for a bit of privacy. It is all starting to come off a bit, which is a bit frustrating, but do need to redo that. And then the shower curtain that runs on a runner, it goes all the way around. Oh, the light. On the front here, we've got 2 switches. That one I haven't widened to anything yet. I need to do that. That one is a really bright LED light in the shower. In fact, there's 2. I just remembered there's 2 of them. Yeah, works really, really well. Just above that, totally unrelated, that's the level of our fresh water. There are 4 LED lights, and when it's full, obviously it's green. When it's empty, it's red. If you want to see a video on fitting this, click up here. And then this light here comes on when the grey water is full up, which I've never had to do yet because it's always seem to empty it before it gets too full up. So moving to the back, the living area, if you like. Got a big sofa settee type thing there, and the same this side. This also folds out into bed using these planks of wood. I don't think there's anything really I need to go over before showing you that, apart from the fact we've got more light switches. Okay, so let's show you the bed, setting up of the bed. So these drawers pull out like so, the obvious COVID test kit. You'll notice the holes in the base, they're actually air vents because the fridge was originally going to go in here. In fact, it was originally in here, and this is probably where it will go back to again. I've also got vents over there, and behind the fridge there is wiring already run through for it. Yeah, so pull the drawers out. These boards have bit of MDF screwed into them. You see a step there, and if I can do this one-handed, it'll be a miracle. They slot into, there we go, they slot in like that, and then you do all 4. There's drawers here as well, so 2 each side, 1 big one, 1 small one. Do that, and then you just bring these cushions down from the back into the middle, and it makes quite a large bed. We actually sleep widthways, so we sleep across here, and it is a very, very wide bed. I'm trying to think, top of my head, I think 1.6 meters, so not quite long enough to sleep long ways, but plenty of room for sleeping widthways. We've had all 3 of us slept in the bed with loads and loads of space before, so yeah, that's the sleeping and seating area. So that is my homemade camper van, my Fiat Ducato. Thank you very much for watching. There are still plenty of things I want to upgrade on this before we come to sell it and build the new van. So do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Make sure you are around for when I start on my new van next year. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.